President, can you explain why you did not condemn those hate groups by name over the weekend?
They've been condemned. They have been condemned.
And why are we not having a press conference today? You said on Friday we'd have a press conference.
We had a press conference. We just had a press conference.
Can we ask you some more questions, sir?
It doesn't bother me at all, but I like real news, not fake news. You're fake news. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Hat, and welcome to Hat's Guerrilla News. YouTube has gone on a banhammer spree in the last week or so. Now that we know the notorious Southern Poverty Law Center and the Anti-Defamation League are flagging videos with YouTube's blessing, it's apparent that the end of days for anti-left, read anti-legacy media channels may have arrived. YouTube has said publicly that the recent bans are due to an imperfect algorithm rollout, but you'd have to be a fool to buy into that. If that is the case, why are so many conservative channels being deleted and not being reinstated? That doesn't sound like YouTube is treating these deletions as accidents. Today we're going to talk about what some would call the next YouTube apocalypse. On Saturday, Infowars, Alex Jones's channel, received its third strike. Ironically, it was for a video that had been previously flagged, then approved after review. Getting strikes for things like this could be the death knell for Infowars. There are options in case Infowars goes dark. You can subscribe to the Free Speech channel and Infowars Censored, as seen here. I know some of you don't care or are even happy about this. Jones is a polarizing figure. However, that shouldn't stop you from feeling outraged over this treatment of a direct competitor to channels like CNN and the Young Turks. This isn't about popularity. This is about the viability of any channel that goes against the mainstream media's garbage spewed by it 24/7. We all know about CNN's rapacious activity towards Infowars. They have actively campaigned to have it removed from YouTube and are complicit in the driving away of sponsors from that channel. The Young Turks have also aimed at Alex Jones, see link in the description, and we all know how joined at the hip TYT is to the Lamestream Media. They didn't take all that money from Qatar and Democrat Party kingmakers to remain independent. They like to call themselves progressive media, but they show their exact allegiances time and time again. Full disclosure, I took a playful swipe at Alex back in the fall of 2016, link in the description. It wasn't meant to demonize Infowars, however, as the above outlets have done time and time again in recent weeks. Alex Jones isn't the only channel about which you should worry. There are others that consistently go against the legacy media's far-left narrative, calling them to task whenever possible. The following are channels I follow and worry about, arranged by the number of subscribers. Some of these sites have backup sources of income, but not all. Getting deleted from YouTube could be a death blow to those supported by Super Chats and Patreon, as well as choking off the stream of new viewers. Just as importantly, in my view, this is about the potential to lose these influential voices and the stifling of common sense media on YouTube. The first channel on my list is Louder with Crowder. Stephen Crowder has been in media in one form or another since he was a child actor in Canada. Crowder has since moved up from AM radio to now a very successful YouTuber with nearly 1.4 million subscribers. His program is a combination of a comedic look at stories in the media, debunking articles from the likes of CNN and TYT, and interviews with people having a wide range of views, from Dr. Jordan Peterson to feminist Sally Kohn, for instance. The apocalypse hit Crowder with a devastating blow. However, like others on this list, he had a backup plan, the Mug Club, a subscription-based alternative in combination with conservative review television, CRTV for short. CRTV is a network of conservative hosts forming a wide variety of content from Phil Duck Dynasty Robertson to author and radio host Mark Levin. Roaming Millennial, another well-known YouTuber, has recently joined CRTV. If you subscribe to Crowder's channel there, you not only get access to their wide-reaching programming, but you also get a highly praised Louder with Crowder mug. I'll let you know, my wife subscribed to CRTV last year, and that container is a thing of beauty. I covet it. My wife and I are lucky, though. We are able to afford to shell out some shekels to sites like CRTV. Many of you can't. You're dependent on the free Thursday live stream Crowder does on YouTube, as well as the clips from other shows he uploads here and there. If this channel was deleted from YouTube, you'd be denied that enjoyment. That's not the only loss suffered by Louder with Crowder being deleted. We all know how broad of a reach YouTube has. By being on this massive platform, Louder with Crowder pulls in subscribers to CRTV through free episodes posted by him every week, roaming too. Take away their presence on YouTube, and this site's growth will suffer greatly. In fact, I wouldn't have known about CRTV without Crowder's presence on YouTube. Crowder and Roaming Millennial are already backed into a corner through demonetization. It's a small step from that to wiping them out completely for wrongthink. Next is Paul Joseph Watson, Chief Correspondent for Infowars. PJW has nearly 1.2 million subscribers and is very popular in anti-leftist circles. Paul has a particularly acerbic outlook when it comes to all things stupid, be it mainstream media or outlandish far-left activities. See his video on the Feminist Fight Club for a perfect example. Link is in the description. Paul also interviews people unlikely to appear on mainstream media, like the thorn in their side, Mike Chernovich. Watson is a perfect target right now. He's directly associated with Infowars, and his content is none too kind to the left and outlets like CNN, MSNBC, and TYT. His channel has received strikes in the past, and is definitely on a slippery slope now. I don't always agree with PJW's commentary, but he does bring a razor-sharp outlook to current topics, and is well worth watching, even if it's merely for entertainment's sake. For this reason alone, he is a must-have on your subscription list. Like all the other channels mentioned here, the more voices in Watson's corner, the better able he is to stave off the rapacious wolves of YouTube's so-called trusted flaggers. YouTube is a major part of Paul's digital footprint. He's dependent on Patreon for any money generated by his channel since he's been completely demonetized. With so many advertisers being scared away from Infowars, crowdfunding could soon be a major part of his income. If Infowars and his channel are pulled, that would result in a major blow. Coming in third is Sargon of Akkad. This channel has been around for years, but it was Sargon's pro-Gamergate stance that brought it to prominence. Speaking of Gamergate, oft-described con artist Anita Sarkeesian attacked him from the dais at last year's VidCon, calling him a garbage human, an appellation he now relishes. Moving past Gamergate, he has built a base of nearly 770,000 subscribers, doing videos on topics ranging from anti-third wave feminism to debating alt-right standouts like Andrew Anglin and Richard Spencer. His weekly Sunday installment, This Week in Stupid, is particularly engaging. However, it is his platforming of alt-right figures that may have gotten him in Dutch with YouTube and its army of flaggers. Because he has dared to give Nazis a platform, Sargon is in the crosshairs of every rabid leftist on YouTube, even though he has proved over and over again he has no sympathy for the alt-right and their stances on race and ethno-states. In fact, he was barred from Twitter for his rather crude jabs at them. Just the other day, Sargon was locked out of his Google account, which meant he couldn't get near his channel. That mistake, if you believe Google, was rectified, but you don't hear of MSNBC, who promotes the Trump-Russia conspiracy every time it opens its mouth, getting locked out of YouTube. I wonder why that is. Sargon has 3 other channels: The Thinkery, Ancient Recitations, and Sargon of Akkad live streams, the latter of which draws in Super Chat support. Sargon does have a decent following on sites such as Patreon, which is vital because, as you can guess, he's constantly demonetized. But how long can he count on that support if he's completely deleted from YouTube? It takes years of hard work to build a channel from the ground up. Where would he be without a significant platform from which to reach his audience? Next, with nearly 550,000 subscribers, is The Daily Wire, host to Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan, and Michael Knowles, all openly conservative and openly religious as well. In other words, an SJW's worst nightmare. Shapiro, for instance, is an Orthodox Jew. That makes the shrieking left calling him a white supremacist and a Nazi, while simultaneously being vilified by anti-Semites, hilarious though chilling at the same time. Shapiro, in particular, is a lightning rod for deranged anger from idiots like easily triggered SJWs and Antifa types. He regularly receives death threats, especially when he goes as an invited speaker to campuses across the country. He is quite often deplatformed, sometimes outright banned, like at DePaul University in Chicago, or moved off university property due to, quote-unquote, security concerns. Shapiro has said many times this is nothing more than college and university administrators giving into the heckler's veto and allowing insane, my word, leftists to run roughshod over the First Amendment. Perhaps the most famous example of this egregious behavior was when the University of California, Berkeley said it had to pay out $600,000 for security due to Shapiro bringing, you guessed it, hate speech to the campus. Klavan and Knowles don't often get that kind of public pushback, but their tales of being shut out of the entertainment industry when trying to pitch their highly rated serial podcast, Another Kingdom, to producers in the hopes of it garnering a movie or TV deal are telling. Mention you are conservative in Hollywood, Klavan says, and the next thing you see is the parking lot. The Daily Wire's backup plan is their website, dailywire.com, which hosts not only their live streams, but articles from a mix of Daily Wire contributors. I often look to the Daily Wire for breaking news or commentary, as do many prominent YouTubers, and it is an excellent source. For a monthly fee or a discounted yearly subscription, you can watch all 3 live streams ad-free, as well as garnering access to other perks like the infamous Leftist Tears Tumblr for annual subscribers. I'm expecting mine any day now. I found out about dailywire.com through YouTube. That said, like Louder with Crowder, not everyone can afford to pay for content. Watching a live stream with ads is better than no content, so you have to be grateful the Daily Wire is on YouTube at all. If you haven't already, subscribe to them and add your vote to their side. As I've said before, YouTube provides a bully pulpit to voices like Shapiro, Klavan, and Knowles, along with untold exposure. I wouldn't have known about them without their presence there, as is the case with who knows how many other Daily Wire viewers. Take away their channel, and their growth will stagnate. I didn't have to subscribe to their website, but I felt it was right to support them, especially seeing as how they've been treated by YouTube. For instance, during the last State of the Union address, their live stream was taken down as the speech began due to a copyright strike filed by CNN. There was only one problem. Daily Wire was using the C-SPAN feed, not the CNN feed. Several other channels also had their streams taken down by this cowardly action. It goes without saying that the Daily Wire is constantly demonetized, like all the others on this list. The penultimate channel here may be considered a dark horse, Matt Christensen, with over 120,000 subscribers. He has a particularly eloquent style, making his arguments airtight through well-constructed commentary and a pleasing, almost offhanded air in front of the camera. Matt has zero artifices in his polite manner, yet easily destroys any idiocy that happens to cross his plate. He has made a cottage industry out of what he calls hoax hate incidents, those events in which various minorities cry out when supposedly targeted by evil Trump supporters. Invariably, we find out it wasn't done by those damned oppressors, but by either a member of their community or that it never happened in the first place. For the latter, think of every "my hijab was pulled off" claim that's happened since Trump took office. Matt also hosts a popular Sunday night live stream called Beauty and the Beta with co-host Blonde. Blonde, who was banned from Twitter last year, is known for her channel Blonde in the Belly of the Beast, which I highly recommend. Also on Matt's channel, they have a call-in show Wednesday nights. My wife and I are big fans of the Sunday show and are happy to send the odd super chat their way. Speaking of super chats, these are a significant source of revenue for Matt and Blonde. Once again, take away his channel, which hosts the live streams, and they are out of a job. That is a very real likelihood, as their videos are regularly demonetized, dinged for falling afoul of the vague and capricious YouTube terms of service so often applied, yet never fully defined. The final channel is, in fact, two channels by one person, Hard Bastard. HB, as his fans affectionately call him, has been doing news aggregation since late 2016. He has a total of nearly 37,000 followers between his two channels, the eponymous Hard Bastard channel and Hard News Network. I'll get to the reason for two channels shortly. HB is a textbook gadfly. He regularly goes after sacred cows like Rachel Maddow, Cenk Uygur, Brian Stelter, and Chris Stop the Hammering Matthews. He has a no-holds-barred approach to busting the bloated balloons of these buffoons. Because of these full-tilt jousts at these and other sacred windmills of corporate media, HB suffered a strike for bullying a then-member of the Young Turks, if you can believe it, that crippled his ability to stream on the Hard Bastard channel. He started Hard News Network as a workaround to that strike. HB has what I and many others consider to be the best live chat on YouTube. His live streams attract an eclectic crowd, from lawyers to Hollywood actors to hilarious trolls, and all of them are unusually articulate, well-read, and ready to defend their positions. The trolls don't usually fare very well, though they are never censored unless way out of bounds. HB is unique to this list as he reads every super chat regardless of amount. This policy sometimes leads to occasionally informative, sometimes aimless, but always entertaining sidebars to the article or video at hand. Hard Bastard's live streams have sometimes topped 7 hours, but his audience retention is legendary. Like others, Hard Bastard has also made great use of super chats, taking the money and putting it into a reasonably professional studio that he runs with the help of Winston Smith and, at times, Aiden Paladin, another YouTuber worth mentioning. See the description for links to both their channels. Parenthetically, Aiden has also been the target of people afraid of an honest dialogue, most recently as part of the infamous private Discord server list KrautNT and his cohorts put together to wage an ill-fated campaign to dox people they felt were alt-right and didn't deserve a platform for debate. It seems merely talking to their enemies was beneath this group. Once again, taking away a relatively small but very influential platform, for instance, I started this channel in large part due to Hard Bastard's channels, is an anathema to what made YouTube into the media monstrosity it has become. It's the voice outside of what's safe that created YouTube's popularity. Without these voices, it would be all kitten videos and punk pranks. You can't have YouTube without channels like Hard News Network. HB has done an admirable job spreading out to many other platforms like Gab, BitChute, and Facebook, while YouTube is steadily breathing down his neck. He has to delete a number of live streams once ended in order to avoid strikes from YouTube for things preferred partners regularly get away with, or broadcast portions of them on outlets other than YouTube altogether, thus making it harder to reach an audience that could be interested in his singular, long-form style. I'll say this: watch a single Hard News Network live stream, the one correct channel, engage in the chat, and you'll be a channel lifer. Despite being active on the listed alternative platforms and more, HB depends on YouTube to bring in viewers and much of his monetary support. He has a website, hardnews.network, but the odds of finding him on the vast plains of the internet without the exposure one can only find on YouTube are slim. Add to that his terrific support through super chats, and you can see why getting kicked off of YouTube would be a disaster for him and Winston. That's my list. There are others worth mentioning, like H.A. Goodman, Lionel Nation, Styx Hexenhammer 666, and Anthony Brian Logan, among others. I subscribe to all of these channels, and I urge you to do the same. There is strength in numbers. Whether someone has over 1 million subs or only 30, you can make a difference if they need defending. Even though my audience is minuscule, perhaps this video will be spread around, and a fair amount of people will join these channels and make their voices heard if another, quote-unquote, accidental algorithm puts crippling strikes on the sites or deletes them completely. Leaving YouTube is not an option for virtually any channel on it now. Until platforms like BitChute and Gab reach critical mass, YouTube is, unfortunately, the only game in town. The deck is stacked against anyone willing to speak out against the legacy media. Infowars has over 2 million subscribers at present and is near extinction. What do you think would be the recourse for a channel like Hard Bastards? A strike on each of his platforms would put him in the ground, as he depends on being able to live stream to grow and survive. There are unmistakable advantages to YouTube's technical aspects that outlets like Gab and Periscope can't match at present. Until they catch up, we're stuck with YouTube's willingness to subvert anyone who doesn't play by their rules, and no one's sure what those rules are, only that they don't apply to preferred partners like CNN and TYT. It's the only big casino in town, and the house can set the odds however it sees fit, for whomever it likes or dislikes, without any repercussions. For now. Right now, Infowars could well be marshaling forces to take YouTube to the woodshed. Alex Jones would be following in the footsteps of Dennis Prager. Prager, the head of Prager University, is suing Google and YouTube for deleting his channel. This is a move seen by many as the first shot across the bow of these entities, and one being followed very closely by many like-minded channels, including the ones I've listed here. Like Ben Shapiro, Prager is also a Jew who has suffered a multitude of spurious claims of his being a racist and a white supremacist. Prager has a huge cheering section right now, and it will only get louder as YouTube allows itself to be ruled by big-name channels that have fewer engagements than virtually all the channels I've just mentioned. Personally, I don't want YouTube to fail. I've developed a fondness for my subscribers on both channels and would hate to have them have to find me all over again on other platforms. As things stand now, though, folks, the emperor has no clothes. It's only a matter of time before YouTube either wakes up and stops shoveling away its base, or it falls victim to its own vicissitudes and becomes another MySpace, a beached whale on the shore of the internet. That's all for now. Until next time, be well, and as always, thank you for your attention.
Oh, that was a good one.